How y'all doing? This is me, and I'm talking loud. I understand yesterday none of y'all could hear me, so I'm closer to the computer and I'm talking louder than usual, so you can hear what I do. But I got a few things to say. First of all, I went back to the previous video that nobody could hear apparently, and I listened to see if there was anything worth repeating. I don't know. I'm not sure if there was. The only thing I think I might want to make sure you heard from that was that I learned in conversation with my life coach that you always got to watch where you've gotten more emotional than factual. I was telling her I was fine, and then she asked me this one question, and I told her a whole bunch of information in distress for 20 minutes. Oh, they were dragging each other again. And yes, I know y'all saw my messy house, and it has gotten too much for me. I mean, this is just my workroom, but it's just gotten too much for me. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna do something about it today. So but in the interim, but all I was saying was, and I had gotten so deep into the emotion. I forgot what facts underlay those emotions. So I was just emoting to her, but I wasn't giving her any information that she needed because I didn't know what the facts were underneath it. And you always got to dig down there and get the facts. That's all I was saying. That's the only thing I think worth repeating. But let me tell you, let me show you what it did. I know you know about Big Boy and Little Lynn over there, but I just took a moment in time out and got into my little shop of knickknacks. Look at that. And the beauty of my little shop of knickknacks is I built all the furniture, right? So I built this. This was a broken trellis. I put some stair steps on there. I trimmed it out with a good tape. I need to fix that. And then I got like a laminated top. I built this bookshelf. It's, a little tacky, but I'm very excited about the whole thing. I got books to put in it and everything. So I have to stay busy, stay ahead of the devil. Uh, I want to tell you a good hello. How are you? What's it? What do you need? Huh? And what do you need? Uh, anyway, tell you a story. I've been out of the house more often, and you know what? How I want it, how I know I've been way out of the house more often? Instacart. Hush, hush. Instacart has started sending me, hey, $5 off, $25 off, because I used to Instacart every day, if not twice in a day. And now, they have those automatic things. If somebody hasn't done their thing in a while, they send you like a coupon or something. I don't even take it. So I'm going outside a lot. So I'm very impressed with myself. So I was outside the other day and I was checking out at a self checkout. I love self checkout, but I hadn't been doing it in a while. And I screwed up something. And I was doing it, and then the Roma tomatoes, and then the t and then and you screw it up bad enough, and then I think I ended up putting some food on the weight thing that I hadn't scanned yet because I was all discombobulated. And the woman came over and said, "Just a minute." I was like, "Oh crap!" And I went like that because I didn't have this hat on. I just went like that. I was like, "Oh," and I knew I was messing up. I don't want to fool around. So yeah, Judge Toller has gotten uh, uh, arrested at Walmart or wherever I was. It wasn't Walmart, but anyway, wherever I was shoplifting. So we were figuring it out. And so I was trying to lighten the mood. And I said, well, I haven't been out in a while. And, these things are confusing. It's not for people. Yeah, I'm six. What did I say? I'm 65 years old. 3 days. I wanted to let her know how old I was because I don't necessarily look my age. And I just wanted to claim senior citizenry. You know, I'm a senior citizen. There are limitations to my technical abilities. And I said, yeah, I'm 6'5", I'm 3 years older than dirt. And I just thought that was funny. I thought she would think that's funny. And she turned around, and I didn't really look at her first, which was part of the problem. Never tell a joke until you know who your audience is. I looked at her. She says, well, I'm 68 years old. What does that make me? And I was like, uh-oh, because she had already come over there with a bit of attitude. And I said, it makes you a woman who has aged incredibly well. And she couldn't help but smile. Now, see, that was all Tony told her. My mother believed. My mother, you know how they used to say, I match energy, or talk to me, I talk back. My mother was like, nah, I haven't won unless I've won you over. And not so much in appeased you and pleased you, but understood you well enough that I ain't got to fight with you to get what I want. Like, I remember mom came up here. When she first came up here, she was in a really nice hoity-toity um, retirement place, which, thinking back on it now, I should have gone less hoity-toity and more closer to home. But she didn't stay there long anyway. She just came and moved in with me. But uh, and there was this one lady, didn't like her. I don't know why, whatever. But these are old people so they were born in the 30s and the 40s. So you never know what kind of background it has. And she was just, clearly nasty. I'm like, oh, that was terrible. She said, don't worry, baby, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna figure out what it is. And in a couple of weeks, they were friendly. Because mom doesn't get insulted when somebody insults her. My mother thinks that's an indication of ill or upset with you. She knows it ain't got nothing to do with her. So she don't care. And unless it's true. And then if it's true, that person didn't insult you, they informed you and helped you. My mother used to tell me that all the time. But that's how you win a war, is allowing both sides. It's not zero sum. It's 100%, 100%, you know? And I think that's a lot of what we do. We want to cook now. We want to, we don't want to have a discussion. We don't want to entertain the question that was asked. We want to deflect. We want to demean. We want to be, I mean, for us, it's not the conclusion, it's the conflict. You know, you and I don't have to believe the same thing at all, but I bet we agree on some things. We want people to be safe, and then let's start where we agree and then back up to find where we don't agree. There's been some research on that. It's like when you ask people their opinion, like not telemarketers, but pollsters call and ask opinion, they ask opinions in a manner that allows them to get the answer that they want. But some pollsters said, let's do some neutral questions first. Do you believe children should A, B, C, D, blah, 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 and you backwards, and then anyway, it's less contentious. But a win is not an annihilation of the other side. Because, first of all, you can't annihilate them, they still exist. And then that's a problem you have. So, what if, and I'm not talking about giving in to jerks who are trying to do you harm. I'm talking about folk at the grocery store. I'm talking about the lady across the street. I'm talking about the guy who's taking 20 minutes to make a left turn. I'm talking about those people. Just let's be cool. I've noticed of late, I don't fuss in the car anymore about people who are traveling weird. I put my turn signal on in the parking lot to reduce the opportunity for somebody to run into me when I'm going somewhere. But in any battle you have, the first fight is always with yourself. You got to know what you're fighting about and why, and is it worth it? And who you fighting with and why, and is it worth it? And what is the downside to the fight? Now, I don't think anybody, the downside, not that I get my behind kicked, which is clearly could be a downside, because you don't know what folk will do today, or you get shot or something or whatever. Uh, but I can't remember what I was saying that for. I got all excited. But all I'm trying to say is redefine your sense of a win. A win is when we've gotten some kind of mutual understanding. I'm just talking about walking through the world regular without a whole lot of who shot John that is unnecessary. There is a whole lot of unnecessary who shot John out there today. That's all I'm saying. So now I'm going to get back. You know what I'm going to do? Isn't this pretty? I found this at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to measure this and see where it's going to be. And then I'm going to I'm going to get some wood, make some frame. And I got these circles. I'm going to do something with circles. And I got these pretty little, y'all don't care. I'm sorry. I have an excellent question that was asked to me by AC. I believe that those are her initials. And it was such a good question, I've decided not to answer it until I have a good answer, a really good answer. And so I'm going to do something to get a really good answer. Well, I don't know if it's really good, but a better answer than you would have gotten today. I just want you to know that I saw it, I read it, and I'm going to answer it. Remember, feelings are fleeting, felonies are forever. The word of the day is enigmatic. It's kind of like hard to understand. He's enigmatic. You can't quite figure him out. I do not know why it's the word of the day. It just is. So I hope you heard me all the way through. If you want to ask me a question, click down below on the clicky thing. Then one of them will say, Ask Judge Jane. To click on that, it'll send me an email. So y'all have a good day, productive day, a calm day, a smooth day, a cool day, a day in which you add to the depth and the beauty of this world, as opposed to a day in which you jack up the pressure out there sparring for no reason. It's unseemly. And listen, with every epithet we hurl, with every argument we get into, with every tantrum we throw, we teach our children how to feel. How you want your kids to feel. Do you want your kids agitated by the ordinary and the mundane? By the mediocre? Nah. You want them to be like cool when they see a foe. Because they can make you act a fool too. That's matching energies. I don't let nobody tell me how to feel. Well, that's not true. The goal is not to let anybody tell me how to feel. And if I'm matching energy, that's all I'm doing is let other people dictate to me how I feel. I didn't let her dictate to me how I felt. I made that lady smile. I lost nothing in the process. As a matter of fact, I got, joy points. I give myself points for making other people's day joyful. How many nice things did I do today? I gotta clean up this place. If you two don't stop, I don't know, they having another kind of power struggle over there. I don't know what to do with these people. But anyway, I hope you heard me, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend.